Well, hopefully this is going to be quite a short video about outlining, and I've done it to show you these. Now the strange thing is that these aren't outliners. They are sold as dimensional fabric paint, but a couple of people on Facebook and more recently one on YouTube has said that they use these instead of outliner. So I thought I'd give it a go. I have already had a go, I will admit. Now, you can use it straight from the bottle, he says. There we go. That is rather nice. That flows quite well. Obviously, as you know, I don't like using these directly from the bottle, so if I can get this top off, which I hope I can do. There we go. I shall make up a little piping bag. And put a little bit in there. Don't worry, any we don't use can go back in the bottle again. If you haven't made a piping bag before, we do have a video on that, and I do prefer it 10 times to using outliner either out of a bottle or out of a tube. I'm going to just cut a little bit of the end off, make a slightly thicker line. Needs the smallest bit. Test it, and that's fine. Right, see how we get on. I'd say that is rather nice. Oops, little air bubble there. I could certainly use that. Okay, so you may ask, why am I using it? Well, for one, the outliner I really like, which is the Pebeo Gallery glass, is getting very hard to get hold of, and this seems to be equally as good. Secondly, you can get this in a whole range of colours and finishes. They do metallic, they do glow in the dark, they do neon, they do glitter. I've got a glitter one here. Must admit, I say, likewise, I have used this already. Just get another piping bag. I wasn't impressed with this when it was wet and I was using it. It looked a bit strange, but when it dried out, once it dried out, it really looked different and was rather nice. It flows well. And so I am actually quite impressed with this. Got no idea what sort of shape I'm doing here. So yes, that seems to make a good outliner. I have tried it already, and it does hold its shape when it dries, and that's actually quite important because some outliners do splay out as they dry and sort of make thicker lines. This does a fraction, but basically holds its shape. So that is a sign of a good outliner. So obviously I couldn't leave it there. It's okay making the line, but you need to know that it's going to work okay with whatever glass paints you are using. Just put these back in. Right, put that to one side. I have here got a sheet of glass. I'm just going to be careful not to put this in any of the outliner, which has just come on. There we go. A sheet of glass. This and on my written sheet, I've just got what sort of paints. I've tried it with loads of different paints just to make sure. These two are Pebeo Vitrail. This is Le Franc Bourgeois. That's another odd solvent-based paint I had around. These are all dry now. That's Marabou, those two. These two are interesting. These are Pebeo Vitria, the water-based ones. So we've got the solvent-based Pebeos here and the water-based Pebeos here. Now, that does react, this particular paint, to the gallery glass outliner I mentioned before, and it doesn't seem to have reacted to this at all. I will check that out further, but it seems to be absolutely fine. Now, these ones all down at the bottom are peelable glass paints, so I haven't tried this yet. But let's just see. Yeah, I should have put the paint on a bit thicker, but that is peelable. I should have put the paint on a bit thicker and given it a bit longer to dry. But there is no problem there with the outliner peeling. Definitely needed it on thicker. But anyway, I think, should I put that paint on thicker, that will be okay. That one feels a bit thicker. Let's try it. Yeah. That is going to make a peelable outliner as well. Obviously these won't peel because they're not peelable glass paints, so that will stay on. But these peelable ones are fine. That one, interestingly, the outline is coming separate from the glass paint. And on this one, it's the paint I'm having a bit of trouble peeling, and this is Pebeo. So these ones were gallery glass. This one's Pebeo, this one's Pebeo, and this is glass art. So glass art, fine. Not so good with the Pebeo. I'd say that really appears to be the paint which is giving problems and not the outliner. So, what's the result? I'm going to have to work at this peelability bit. The outline is definitely peelable. But on this one it's separated from the paint. That's the gallery glass, although I perhaps didn't do that as thick as I should. That was not quite so bad, but again you can see I haven't done the paints very thick. These ones, it is definitely the paint which is causing issues, not the outliner, which is interesting to say the least. This one absolutely fine. The solvent-based paint and the non-peelable water-based paint, absolutely fine. So, recommendation, not so sure about using it with peelable glass paints. You might want to, if that's what you want to use it for, you might want to experiment a little bit yourself and make sure it works with your paint. For the solvent and the non-peelable water-based, absolutely fine. I have got another little example here. Thought I'd show you what the glitter paint was like. Hopefully we can see that. And that was the gold glitter once dried. As I say, it does look a little bit peculiar when you're using it, when you're piping with it, but fine once dried. So, thank you to the people who suggested this as outliner. I will certainly be using it with my solvent-based paints and my water-based non-peelable paints. Have to think a little bit more about whether I'm going to use it for pipe and peel work or not. Thanks for watching. If you have a go with it, let us know how you get on. Alright, happy crafting.